Hey, good morning and welcome to Podcast from the Pit. I am Casey.
I'm Matt.
I'm Eric.
And with us today are two of, I always say nicest people, but honestly, generally nice. I love talking to these guys. I like their live streams. I like Shark Eye's reviews on figures. I feel like they're honest. Even though I don't do classified, I enjoy watching the classifieds, what I'm missing out on. And if I ever do buy another one, it'll be because of your reviews. I'm just saying.
Jeez, mate.
We just need to get Adam into the Lord scale.
Hey, listen. I started on the Lord scale, all right?
Yes.
You guys haven't seen the 4-inch collection that sits in my room because I don't really put it on social media much, but it's there. Like, let's not forget, I record my reviews from the flight deck of a flag. Like, I'm about that life. Maybe not as hardcore as I once was, but I'm about that life.
I get you.
I got to show you my in the chat my favorite comment so far today because it just made me think of Tropic Thunder.
Johnny Sorensen, the man. Hello, Johnny.
Never go full classified. I know somebody's going to use that.
I know someone who uses that a lot. Maybe too much.
But yeah, so thrilled to have you guys on today. We're going to be talking 1985, a Raw. It was a good year. It's probably, with my age, probably the last year that was acceptable for me to collect Joe, but I did years past that. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one. Does anybody got anything in they want to show off for this week? Because I got nothing.
Not me.
I've got a pretty big haul this week.
Let's see it.
Last weekend, after the show, we went to 80s Toys in Princeton, where I picked up a Mythic Legion, the
Stinkor.
So I'm officially
gone down that rabbit hole, Eric.
Well, this is my last one. I had the Moss.
Sure.
I had the Moss Man. Now I have the Stinkor, and I'm done. Unless I find like the He-Man for like $5. But
yeah, that's not gonna happen.
And then I did dive down a rabbit hole. I love minifigs. Morning, Nick. I got a Creo Firefly.
Oh, cool.
And then I got Stalker.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Clutch.
It looks like
And then I got Duke.
Beautiful.
That's probably your favorite, though, right?
No. Cool thing about Duke, his nods.
Yeah, he's got nods. What the hell is that doing on a vintage sort of style Duke? That's interesting.
It's not
and then I seen this guy, Flint. Wow. But Duke, he was in the display case crying. He's like, I want to go too. And
Eric, before we go back to the toys, I've got to quickly ask you, what is that on the wall behind you? Is it an arrow or something?
Yes. It is the only.
I know what it is. It's an error.
It's an error. Yeah. That's how I say it, is an error. Actually, 2 errors.
Is it an error? Okay. Error from Ohio?
Ohio? No.
Just let him tell the story, Aaron.
Good morning, Will.
I like to bow hunt, or used to like to bow hunt.
Right.
And I messed my shoulder up. Eric Harper! There's 2 of us in the podcast. Woo!
The
Okay.
Aussie Eric Harper. Oh my god.
That is good. That is
We
good.
brought the Aussie Eric.
Okay. Well, I can officially get off here now. But
Did
I
I
was
just see that that he changed his avatar to put an Australian flag
The
in there as well? That was
Australian
never
one.
like it, was it? I feel like that's a new thing he's put in there.
Yeah, he just
That's
had an
gold.
E. Like he had the standard E, you know.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
that's awesome.
Sorry
But
to cut you off, Eric.
you're fine.
No, that's made my night. That is
So Zazel,
I was
Morning.
target practicing. I shot an arrow into the target. And I drew back. I shot the second arrow. Eric Harper. And this is awesome. He is my twin separated at birth.
Hey Phil, good morning.
But I shot it and I was like, where did it go? And I walk up to the target and it Robin Hooded into the first arrow.
Oh,
Split
no
it.
way.
Yeah.
That's great.
It went in maybe about 5-6 inches. And the first arrow just mushroomed down where it's made out of aluminum.
Right.
And so I was like, I gotta mount this. So I made the plaque and mounted it on a plaque. I've only done that
Very
twice in my
cool.
life.
That is
So-
very cool. Very
Good
cool.
morning, Jason.
I could take a dump truck of arrows and shoot them at a target, never take an arrow out, and never do it again.
Yeah,
That's how
absolutely.
rare that is. And
When I was
Ronnie's
younger,
just
I had a crossbow, like a
Uh-huh.
handheld crossbow, and so I know what it's like to shoot arrows and how, like, to pull off a shot like that is like, yeah, 1 in a million.
yeah. So, but that's my only hunting trophy. Other than a spiked buck I shot, I cut the antlers off of it. And,
Does it keep squirrel skulls?
squirrel tails up here. Whenever I was growing up, okay, you got me on a tangent. Growing up during squirrel season, you'd see cars driving around and they'd have squirrel tails tied to their antennas on their cars as they're driving around town. They'd just be flapping in the wind. I was like, that's cool.
That is a very country ass thing.
I always felt like Indiana was country until I went to West Virginia.
And he's like, why is there no straight roads?
I live in a big city. I do not live in a big city.
Where's the target?
So that's what you got in. Ronnie, did you get anything?
Yes, yeah, I did.
Let's
Got this
check it
guy.
out.
Got this guy. This is Target. He's the Sonic version of Target.
Okay, yeah.
He's very cool. Yeah, very, very cool. I'm pretty happy with him. And I don't know if you guys discuss the core very much. I often get ribbed.
We
for
do not,
discussing the core,
but you can.
Okay.
We will allow it.
I picked up a massive lot of like all these like space dudes this week. Look at them all.
Oh, those are cool.
Yeah, like there's heaps of them. So done really well. There's a little American flag there. Yeah, there's heaps of them. Like some are gold, some are silver. I'll grab a couple out just quick. So some are finished off nice and silver, like so. And then some of them have a gold sort of sheen to them. So I've got about 10 of them. So as you see, he's got a bit of gold sheen to him.
Hey, foot.
Those look cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. The other thing is I got a couple of these dudes as well. So these are the Leonard Atomic Warriors. And you can see what they were going for here, can't you? Do you see what they were
Power
going
Rangers.
Yeah.
for here? Yeah, absolutely. So I reckon I've got a Rangers as well. So if anyone's just grab them for me because I want a full set of Power Rangers. That'd be great. Cheers. Yeah, so that's me this week. I've done pretty good.
Nice.
Done real good.
Well, I did get two things. Sometimes I worry about showing them off. I got some Valaverse figures I didn't have.
Oh, yeah.
I like these. Only reason why I get these over classified is I've never had these figures before, and the classifieds I got the original scale.
That was a very good preemptive answer to the question I was about to ask you, mate.
Yep. Well, I don't know. To me, they're stuff I've never had before.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
It's
Exactly.
more interesting for me to buy. And don't get me wrong, I think classifieds are amazing. It's just, according to my wife, I can't buy everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why not?
We have to have limits and boundaries, don't we?
Right.
Oh,
Campbell.
yes. Campbell's here. It's pretty late for him. It's right in the middle of the night for Campbell in New Zealand.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And Matt got a couple things. Not this week.
So these are just a couple of things I got from the Kentuckiana show that we're going to try and do a show, but my schedule was crap. So there's that.
Oh,
that's
sweet.
cool.
I got to show you.
That looks immaculate, Matt.
He's got a little bit of damage on the bottom, but on the edges. But other than that, it's in really good shape.
Yeah, the colors of that card are fantastic.
Yeah.
And then I got the
Oh, yep.
Oh,
Skeletron. Yep.
That's really nice.
Very cool.
I don't know I don't know if I overpaid for it, but if I did, that's fine because all the money was going to Roma to help with his treatment.
That happens every now and then. I'm guilty of it this week. I overpaid for that Punisher Bushwhacker Marvel Legends pack because I wasn't going to run the risk of it coming here and me not being able to get it or anything. I was like, nah, lock it in, send it over from Taiwan. That's it. It's mine. I've got it. That's it. We pay the impatient tax every now and then, and it's worth it.
Yep.
I've been known to do that. Good morning, Ken. I know it's early.
Morning,
In there.
But yeah, that was the first
We've got
one I've seen
some
great.
absolute legends here today.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
Chat's full.
yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah. I haven't seen this so many cool people in here before. Awesome. You guys got to come on more often.
Yeah.
You're the draw.
Happy to.
You're like a magnet. Cool people magnet.
Oh,
So what we're going to talk about today is Podcast from the Pit is known for their lists.
yeah.
We have been since day one, and we enjoy doing these. And so we're going to talk 1985. The rules are different this time around because me and Matt, we did the 80s a while back, but taste change. So we're doing top 3 vehicles / playsets, then top 5 figures. And we'll go 3 to 1 vehicles playsets, then 5 to 1, but only after Ronnie gives us a rundown of 1985 in Australia.
Yep. 1985 in Australia. What happened? Funny enough, everything in this book about 1985 is kind of from a world point of view. Rock Hudson died of AIDS.
I remember that.
I'm old enough I can remember that when that happened.
Oh, really? I was 3 in 1985. Well done, boys.
I was 10.
Live Aid happened in 1985. It was a concert organised by Bob Geldof, and there was a whole bunch of famous artists raised $80 million for starving kids in Africa. Back to the Future. Yeah, Back to the Future was released.
Mhm.
Unpopular opinion. I don't like that movie.
I'm not
Really?
big on it either.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh my God, Casey! No, how dare you?
Yeah.
I don't
Not
hate
big.
it. I just don't like it.
I'm not a big Michael J. Fox fan.
I mean, of the 3 films in that trilogy, it's the best film. Like it. I don't know. I think it's not like my favorite film of all time, but I think it's quite clever.
Yeah.
Fair. Number 3 was my favorite. Nobody calls me yellow. Otherwise, you get shot with an arrow. Yeah. Anyway.
I won't turn you into a hillbilly yet, Ronnie.
Oprah started her TV show in 1985. Yep. Madonna brought out Like a Virgin.
I remember that.
And Dire Straits went to number 1 with Money for Nothing.
Remember that.
Yep.
And that really is about it, to be honest.
Well, that would also indicate then, I'd say, that MTV would have taken off, because that was Dire Straits was huge on MTV, like at that
possibly.
time.
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah.
Back when they showed videos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Like 30 years ago.
Now it's just 16 and pregnant marathons.
Yeah.
That's
I
what my
remember.
wife's been watching.
My wife watches that crap too. I'm like, what are you doing?
The last time MTV was good was when Jackass was on it, and after that, downhill.
Last time I think it was good was whenever the Headbangers Ball was on.
That was 90s, like
Yeah.
mid to late 90s. Yeah.
We would stay up on Saturday nights just to watch the Headbangers Ball. We'd do the countdown, the top 20 before it. My mom would stay up with us. And then whenever it came on, she's like, what in the world's going on with these people?
One more thing from 1985. A joint French-American search team located the hulk of the Titanic for the first time.
I remember that.
That's right. And
Yeah.
something specific I remember about that. There was a National Geographic that covered that whole discovery of the Titanic.
Really?
And I had it because my mum had a National Geographic subscription, and I was fascinated with the Titanic because of that book and in that moment in time, and have had a fascination with the Titanic ever since.
I got a books. Books are good.
And you know what else you're not going to find in that book, Aaron? 1985 was the first year that I went to America.
Yeah. Yep. Mention that on Tuesday night.
Yep.
Yeah,
And it was the first year that I got some Joes as well.
So what was you doing in America?
Family trip with my dad and my stepmom on Christmas Day of '84. There's a big box under the tree, and I had to open the box, and inside that was another box, and I opened it up, and I can't remember what was on it, but I was stoked for it. But inside that box was another box, and as I kept opening, the boxes went from big to small until there was a shoe box or something, and inside that box was like a book, like a travel agent's book for California, and it said like turn to page 10 or whatever, and opened up there, and it was on Disneyland, and there was like the tickets, the airline tickets. So
Nice.
yeah,
That's cool. So you went to
young
Disney.
Adam was pretty damn stoked that Christmas, let me tell you.
I've only been out of America once. I was 5, and we went to Canada.
just up the road, mate.
Yeah, it's like 8 hours away.
Yeah.
I have not. I've only been across the Mississippi River once in my life. So
Crikey.
You got me.
he lands and you hear dun 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 dun.
So, okay, we will start with the vehicles. As number 3, we will go clockwise. We'll start with Eric, Adam, Ronnie, me, and Matt.
So, just as a shout out to Joe Hunter 73 and 73 Lair Bear, I got your list last night. I could not get them to print, and I apologize. Where you have a puppy dog that's kind of down right now, so just been kind of trying to take care of her and everything. So,
Eric, to be fair, he would have just put skid mark in for his top 5, every single one anyway. Yeah. So
actually, no, he didn't. That was just a number 1. But
thank you for stopping by, Ken.
Yeah, appreciate it, Ken.
Yeah, take it easy, Ken.
So, but are we ready?
Shoot.
Oh yeah, I'm just pulling up a list on my phone to have a look at some stuff.
My number 3 is the Night Landing.
Mm.
Oh, good call. Good choice.
There's so much here, and I've had it once in my life, but I will have it again. But it's such a cool little thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my number 3.
Okay.
Cool beans.
I'm up next, right?
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Okay.
Are you just quickly deciding now?
Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm good like that.
That's the way we roll.
Yeah.
That's from Pitway.
And so for the third pick, I can tell you what it's definitely not going to be.
Mhm.
It's not going to be the Snowcat. So it's I'm going to go with something a little different, and I never had it as a kid, and this is probably will be why I chose it. It's the Ore Striker.
Ooh.
Yep, iconic vehicle. I remember my cousin had it, and that was my first sort of exposure to it. And the suspension, the working suspension.
Yeah.
Just the dune buggy nature of it, the big cannon on top. It's army green. Like, what's not to love, right? And crankcase, awesome figure as well. Awesome driver figure.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see Adam had an All Striker. I didn't think you did any vehicles.
Yeah.
Me? This is the Transformers crossover.
Oh, okay.
I bought this because it was on a shelf somewhere. Yeah. If it's on a shelf, I'll support it. We don't get anything on a shelf in Australia. So if you see something on a shelf, I'm going to buy it. And that is also my number 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
That's pretty cool. So
nice.
That's a good solid start.
This guy's pretty cool too. He's
yes, I do like.
We were talking before about redheads with brown eyes being the most evil redheads. Yeah. So redheads with blue eyes, okay. Redheads with brown eyes, look out.
Gotta watch them. Gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So my number 3 is the Moray.
Oh yeah.
I did not have it as a kid. Went to, was it Kentuckiana or?
I think it was the Winterfest version.
We went to a Winterfest, and I don't want to spoil any stories, but me and Matt both picked up our Morays that day.
Mm.
It was, I don't know. I love it. It has a repro lens. I'm okay with that because I'm not paying $80 for a little lens.
That's fair.
Well,
there he is.
We
were talking about him. There he is.
Which one is it? My number 3 is going to be the Tactical Battle Platform.
Good pick.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's still a hole in my collection. I still do not have one.
Yeah, I never had it.
I can't even think about picking one up. I don't have enough room.
Right. I'm gonna let my dog out.
And Larry and Joe Hunter, again, I apologize. I couldn't get your list to print out last night, so I dropped the ball on that. So feel free, put what your top 3 and top 5 are in the chat.
Yeah, anybody in the chat, just start dropping your number 3 vehicles in there.
Yeah.
We'd love to know.
Sweet.
So,
yes, Morays are awesome.
yeah.
And per usual, I have, what's the driver, the Lamprey?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Lamprey, yeah.
3 Lampreys with mine.
Perfect.
Nice crew.
I need to get a Moray so I can put Mercer in it.
Nice.
It's a great vehicle.
All striker.
Nice.
I recently sold my vintage Moray, which was immaculately complete, including the lens as well. It wasn't a repro one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the only thing that was a little bit askew was the rocket pod. It was functional, but it was sort of, the strut thing would fall in. You know what I mean? Like, which is pretty sort of common with those things. It wasn't broken or anything, and it would pop up still, but it wouldn't sit. It would sit flush and then sort of dip a little. But yeah, great vehicle.
Wreck ship would still love to see him. All right, Eric, number 2.
Snowcat.
Someone had to pick it.
It was really cool. You know, I wanted the Polar Battle Bear so bad as a kid. Then the Snowcat came out as like a upgrade to the Battle Bear, and I didn't have it until a few years ago, and then I promptly traded it off like an idiot. But it's still a pretty cool vehicle.
Absolutely. That's correct, Swordsman. I'm pretty sure it was the Galil it was based on. Yeah. Yeah. The quality pick, Eric. Very, very good.
Snow torpedoes, yep.
Yes, sir.
You had to be at snow torpedoes.
Sorry, guys, my dog's just moving. Bear with me. It's my turn, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
Sorry. I was thinking, and I got distracted by the dog. So I was going to go the Moray because I didn't have it as a kid. I got it as an adult. But I've changed my mind at the last second, and I'm going to go for something that I did have as a kid, and that was, in all its fragile state, the Silver Mirage.
I still never had one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That bike as a kid was the first Joe bike that I got because the Ram wasn't really available here. And so in 86, the Mirage was still on the shelves. And it was a sleek little unit, and sure, over time it is not so, it is not so great, but looking at it now, it's a nicely made little toy. And I got a lot of use out of that as a kid. So that's my
cool.
pick.
Yeah, I'm having trouble finding one that's not all broken.
Or they're often glued together too.
Right.
That's what people do as well. Yeah.
Because I do want one because I think they look great, but I don't want one that's all trashed out. I don't mind to play with one, that's fine. But if I'm going to spend money on something, I don't want it pre-broke. I want to break it.
That's the only way. That's why I haven't bought a flag yet. I want to sink it myself. I don't want Cobra to sink it.
That's fair. So I guess it's me. Yes, I don't collect vehicles. But if I had to, I'd buy little ones. And right. Swordsman 007, he mentioned a short time ago that there was no love for the armadillo. there actually is some love right here. The armadillo is my style because it's a nice, eeny, weeny, tinsy, wincy little tank. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Armadillos are fun.
Yeah. I think I reckon it should be a Cobra vehicle though. I can just see Cobra Commander sitting in one, just directing the troops, you know. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't think there's ever been a Cobra repaint of it either historically.
I don't think so.
No.
Maybe we'll get Campbell to make one.
Well, considering how sort of like exposed the driver is in that vehicle, it makes sense for it to be Cobra-ized.
Right.
Swords loves it.
It's like a ground fang.
Yeah, exactly. Who you got, Casey?
So
Or
my
what you
number
got,
2
sorry.
is something I finally picked up this year at Joe Fest, thanks to my friend Gary from Chaplin's Assistant Motor Pod. Great podcast. Check it out if you haven't. A Mauler.
Mm.
Oh,
Yes. I love it.
no. I love it.
It is so cool. I mean, he gave me a friend deal on it, so couldn't pass it up. And it's been on my list to get for a long time.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm just looking at my book.
Well, I guess my number 2 will be the big one. That's the USS Flag.
That
And
is
I
a
have
big
to
one.
apologize for my dog. She doesn't like people walking by the front.
Mate, don't apologize.
We're all dog people.
Yep.
Yeah, you might have gathered that. From
I seen in
the
the
live
chat
stream we
one
did.
time, it would not be a podcast from the pit episode without dogs barking.
Yeah.
That is fair.
I do approve dogs in podcasts. I'm all about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The one we have here would be looking over my shoulder right now, but she's laying on pillows. She's kind of down right
Yeah.
at the moment.
My two are out like a light. I'm surprised that the little one didn't crack off when your dog started barking, Casey.
Yeah. She's a big standard poodle. It's actually my daughter's dog. She got a booming bark, but she's so sweet.
Nice. Yeah, standard poodles are lovely.
Let's get your number 1, Eric.
Number 1, the transportable tactical battle platform. I'll get it out eventually. That thing is so cool. I mean, I could see a group of Tomahawks bringing that rascal in, planting it, and just, it wouldn't even have to be in the water. You could put it out on the ground somewhere. And I need to get a Moray just so I could put Mercer in it. But
Okay. Just sorry, can you just go back to that last message?
Hydrofoil?
Casey? The previous one about the RAM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so to Lilith's point, shush you. To Lilith's point, it would have come out under the Action Man Toll Toys release, but that was around what, 83 when the RAM was released? Was it 83? Was it
82?
Or 82? 82. Yeah. And I was 5 years old and I wasn't collecting Joe then. I was a Star Wars collector. So in 85, when I started collecting, it wouldn't have been around. That is all.
Oh, hello, dog.
I know I've said it before, but as soon as Joe came out, I traded all my Star Wars. Got me some Joes.
So,
Number 1, Adam.
Yeah, number 1. Look, I never had it as a kid. I only ever saw it once as a kid. And it wasn't until the pandemic that I got it. And now I use it as a table to film reviews on. And that would have to be the USS Flag. And let's be honest, it is the greatest playset of all time. more so than a vehicle. But because it's shaped like a vehicle, we're going to call it a vehicle for the sake of this exercise, even though it doesn't move. So there you go.
Well, in this exercise, it is vehicle / playset.
Yeah.
There you go. So it works. Perfect.
It is allowed, but I think it is a great playset. But all time, I'm probably still going to lean Gray Skull.
Oh, of course. The Motu cast is back.
I'm just saying, if I'm talking about my childhood, you know, I didn't have, maybe I would feel different if I had a flag back then.
Yeah.
Podcast from the slime pit.
I did have a Gray Skull, so yes, that is the best ever made.
Gray Skull had a lot of play value.
Yes.
I had it too as a kid, and I got a lot of use out of it. It's iconic. You know, it's iconic.
Your turn, Ronnie.
My number one. So you know what I said about small vehicles?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, well, my number one is the flag. It's my number one just for its sheer audacity. It's unbelievable. Adam and I had the privilege of talking to Kirk Bazigian some time ago, and he explained how the flag came about. Basically, 1985 was the third year of G.I. Joe. Typically, toy loans only last 1 or 2 years. And before a meeting with Toys R Us, Kirk and his boys were spitballing some ideas. They wanted to really make a statement that G.I. Joe was here to stay, because obviously everyone viewed G.I. Joe as nearing its end of its lifetime, even only after 3 years. So they're spitballing ideas. They thought, let's make an aircraft carrier. Walked into the meeting, not even doing any research about whether they could produce this thing, how much it would cost, where they'd get it from, whether the factory could do it. They just said, oh, yeah, we're going to do an aircraft carrier this year. And Toys R Us turned around and ordered 40,000 of them. So great story. Just shows the absolute, it's the centerpiece, I suppose, of the entire ARA run. It's what, you know, my friends that aren't into G.I. Joe, when I tell them I collect G.I. Joes, and they start clicking around, Googling around, they say, oh, have you got one of these aircraft carriers? So it's, yeah, it's definitely, yeah, my number one.
Did you guys see this comment from Campbell?
Of
Yeah.
course
he could.
He could. He'd get out there with a glue gun and
seriously, he's making that out of sheet metal. Seriously, he had a welding helmet.
yeah.
It'll weigh 3 tons. But yeah.
Oh my goodness. And a tactical battle platform. These are videos I have to see.
Yeah.
Campbell is an ideas man.
So
I remember
shock number one for me is the flag.
Yep.
It is probably, yes, I would say probably my biggest Grail pickup of all time. Got a great deal on it. It's not complete. It's enough for me though. And so it is number one. I'm sad that I don't have it put together right now. But maybe after the window gets fixed and everything gets moved around, it'll come back out.
I thought you sent it to me.
No. If I can find one of those little ones, like that much size, it'll be coming to you.
Well, my number one is going to be the Moray. I've got one complete and without the lens, the one piece missing. And I've also got a second one that my daughter bought me that needs a lot of work that hopefully I'll be able to get some work in on it and get it completed up at some point in time. But
that comments.
I like how he rolls.
I do. I'm going to do a video about how many core figures I've got because I've never counted them. So it could be quite long. Sorry, Matt. Yeah. The Moray, number one. It's good.
Yeah, that would be insane.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Whole backyard.
It's crazy talk, man. It's crazy talk.
Yeah.
You could put an outboard motor on that thing and sell it to Australia.
Yeah. Weren't you guys talking about that with Agent and Chuckles and Steve's writing dad one day? Like, it figured out that it would be 30 meters long or something.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't fit it in that pool that you put a flag in Joe Fest. Like, it wouldn't fit in the pool. It'd be bigger than the pool. Yeah,
it would.
It'd be massive.
Yeah.
So I think 5 solid lists for vehicles / playsets. Now, I always say making the figure list is hard.
Oh, this
Absolutely.
one.
Yeah.
And I will have to go back and listen to our original 85 to see how close I am.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's not close. But after 4 or 5 years, this is where I sit. So we'll start with number 5, Eric.
Number 5, Lady J. They did an amazing job on Baroness, and then they came out with Lady J. And she is a great figure.
She's very, very good figure.
Yeah. So that is my number 5. And she's a tough lady. She'd bring the fight to anybody. She'll fight your way like a man. And break out the claws.
Very cool.
All right. Number 5. Footloose.
Ooh. I've got him.
In terms of figure and everything you get, and like the aesthetics of the character, it's bang for your buck. And he's a character that, isn't as popularized as even someone like Alpine or Bazooka. A lot of people remember those two characters fondly because of their buddy sort of stuff, or or Shipwreck even. And I'm not even saying Snake Eyes deliberately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Footloose is my pick, and a classified version needs to hurry up and be produced.
My number 5 is this guy. Barbecue. Because every Aussie loves a Barbie.
Put another strip on the Barbie.
But not just that. This is the best axe in G.I. Joe. It is bad. It is unreal. See, we've got like little knuckle dusters on the handle. Yeah. The other thing I like about Barbecue is like his helmet it's like a callback to sort of medieval times. You can see, you can just see a guy jousting in this. And of course, when I got older, pork chop sandwiches.
Pork chop sandwich.
Yeah. So he's a star in that little YouTube video. So,
that was a good one.
Yeah. Number 5, Barbecue for me. Good old Timmy. Yeah.
My number 5 is Footloose. I think a lot of people might think Footloose is kind of a playing character. They're welcome to that. But I thought he was great.
Yeah.
I think 85 was the year they started making, or probably in 84 with Roadblock replacing Rock and Roll, but Footloose replacing Grunt. I mean, it's just progression that keeps the line from dying. So, and I thought he was a great character. I still do. When I got back into Joe's, he was one of the first ones I got.
Yeah, awesome figure.
Well, I guess my number 5 will be the Snake Eyes from that year.
What?
Controversial pick there.
Yeah, it was controversial pick.
I've got him over there, and I'm not showing him to anyone because maybe he shouldn't be at number 5. but that's okay. That's okay.
Yep.
It's your list. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely. Yep.
I'm pretty sure when we did the list the first time, he was a lot higher.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. Interesting. I will look forward to hearing the other 4 then.
Because it was around the time we were buying them.
It probably doesn't play into it, but it just seems like, especially recently, it's just the market is flooded with Snake Eye, especially classified. It's every time you turn around, there's a new a version coming out.
Yep.
So I don't know. Maybe I've lost some of the.
You've got a bit of Snake
Well,
Eyes
that character.
fatigue.
And it's not
Okay, Matt, I've got to say this to you, right? Just next time, like you're feeling like you've got Snake Eyes burnout because of that, just remember that we're now at, I think, 5 roadblock figures in the classified line,
Yep.
and we're pushing 5 Baronesses soon as well, and I think we're at 6 Cocos. So, yeah, just keep your love for Snake Eyes alive. Find a diehard Snake Eyes fan.
Yeah.
And we're all just looking at Eric.
Here's
It's up to you.
Okay, so my number 4 is the Eels.
Oh, yeah.
Good pick.
Yeah.
They had so much playability, so much stuff. But one thing I love to see them do, same way with like the Joe's Seals, is put them in something other than the wetsuits.
Well, you got Cobra Troopers for that.
Well, true.
Yeah.
But I guess you could swap an Eels nugget onto a Cobra Trooper nugget. So,
yeah.
Besides Killhall, Eels is the only 85 that I don't have. And that's because every Tom, Dick, and Harry in Australia army builds the guy.
Why wouldn't you?
So, yeah. So maybe one day. But yeah, no, good figure. Good figure.
Yeah, not an easy figure to get here because again, not on store shelves. 85 run wasn't on store shelves here.
Well, when we go to Winterfest in January, if you guys don't have one before then, maybe you'll have one after that because they're not that hard to find here.
Yeah, you got the lion's share of them over there, I'd say.
kind of like you all have the lion's share of Outbacks.
A Tiger Force Outback.
Tiger Force Outbacks.
Yeah. Do you want to see him? I'll get him out if you want.
No, I'll tell you what. I'll trade you an eel for an Outback, Tiger Force Outback.
I've actually been looking out for Tiger Force Outbacks down here for you guys. So if one comes across at a good price.
Yeah, they're not as common as one would like them to be, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they was behind every rock and every spider.
Yeah, we're just hoarding all of them, Eric, just to keep you warm.
There was one for sale the other day in one of the Australian groups with a broken crutch. I reckon starting bid 40 Australian, which is about $30 American. So I don't know what it's up to now, but yeah, keep an eye on it. Had a broken Willie,
broken bits.
Logan Johnson.
Yeah,
there you go.
All right, pick number 4 for me. And again, like Footloose, never owned this figure. Crimson Guard, man. Like, just a strikingly good looking action figure.
Yeah.
The color palette on it, perfect. The backstory of them, awesome. The fact that they were utilized so heavily in the comics, which is probably my first exposure to them as well.
Right, me too.
Yeah, and by Larry Hama. Yeah, like a lot of iconography there with it, and the face mask. Like, come on, fantastic.
Oh yeah, great figure.
And great accessory too, like the bayoneted sort of M4 sort of style, or M16 or whatever it is. Like really nice weaponry.
And the thing I kind of like about them is they're the elite of the elite.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
now in classified, they're making everybody a Crimson figure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting on a Crimson Crocmaster.
Now, is anybody else reading the new Destro comic?
I am, but I'm not up to date with it. I actually just did my comic pickups about 2 days ago. So yeah.
I won't go into spoilers, but I love how they're talking about Tomax and Zammot building their Crimson Guard army.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah, I'm about 2 issues behind, I think. Yeah,
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
yeah, I'm loving the Skybound stuff, Casey. It's great.
Oh, my, so good.
Mm.
It even makes me like Transformers, and I'm not a Transformer guy.
Yeah, like I'm not a Transformers fan like I was as a kid, but I'm
Right.
like, nah, whatever, giant robots, cool, awesome. But that, like, the way they're connecting those two universes is fantastic, isn't it? Yes, it's fantastic.
Which I've never been a fan of Transformers and G.I. Joe combining. I think we've talked about it several times or not. And I mean, in the Energon universe, they're not beating you over the head with the idea,
Yeah,
but you
Yeah.
know it's there. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it's interesting. We'll see how it
Mm.
goes.
yep, absolutely. Azza?
Number 4 for me.
I think if you have a
Crimson-
crimson skid markers, there's an issue.
Yeah,
Get that checked out.
yeah, that's like colonoscopy territory.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, number 4 for me, Bazooka.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like
Only be-
Bazooka.
Yeah, only because I am a footy guy. So this, as far as I'm concerned, is genius. So they appeal to kids' love of sport by putting some sports dude in the G.I. Joe line, and he was obviously the first one. And yeah, a good backstory there too. He is he looks like Patriots quarterback. Steve, what's his name? Steve, I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Steve. His name's Steve.
I tried to block out any Patriots knowledge.
Like,
They still have a team.
Like being my team.
So
So,
they still
yeah.
have a team. Well, yeah. Well, since Brady left, not sure. But yeah. Anyway, number 4, Bazooka. Thank you, Steve Grogan.
Grogan.
There it is.
Yeah,
Steve
that's
Grogan. I was going to say Gray, so I was around them at Grogan.
My number 4, I'm sure, was higher last list because it's a great figure. It's a snow serpent.
Mhm.
It is a good figure.
Where did I put him?
I have 2 right now, and probably would like to get up to 5 at some point because I got an army building problem. They just look so cool.
Yeah.
Yes, snow serpents are great.
Absolutely.
And what's the relation with eels? And one of them is like,
Oh yeah. One of them has snow serpent training, or snow serpent has eels training. One or the other.
yeah, like
Yeah,
one
I think
is enough to be one, but not the other.
Yeah.
And I wish
Yeah.
I could remember that right now, and I feel foolish, but it was a cool story.
I think it's eels. Eels trained to become snow serpents, I think, from memory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Snow serpents are lead over the eels.
Makes sense. But yeah, I love snow serpent.
I love how he can carry all of his stuff. Like,
Yeah.
like he's
Absolutely.
one of the first figures that came with heaps of stuff, but you can stick it all on him. Yeah.
And that AK is awesome.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And again, perfect balance of the colors, the deck and the paint decos. Like the blue is not too in your face. The
Right.
white, obviously, for snow, but the black face mask just pops. You know what I mean? Like it's dynamic.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's a great figure. Like I said, this was a hard year to do for me because
Oh.
84 through 88, I think, are just prime Joe years.
Yeah. They're great years.
Absolutely, man.
Well, I guess my number 4 will be Dusty.
That's a good figure.
Dusty is a good figure. With or without the
Oh
bucket.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, my number 3. This one is a really cool figure. He comes with a lot of gear. Alpine.
Yep.
I remember getting him, and I was like, man, he is just loaded out.
Yeah.
He's got so much stuff.
Oh yeah. He's great.
Even the grappling hook. I mean, so he got a lot of use out of me. Or I got a lot of use out of him. So
Yeah, he's very cool.
Yeah, right there with you on that one, Swordsman.
yeah,
Yeah, and yeah, Eric Alpine, he for me, he's an honourable mention in this exercise for me. I wanted to pick him, but I'm not going to. And yeah, he's like Ronnie said with the Snow Serpent. The fact he can pretty much hold everything is impressive.
yeah.
But number 3 for me is Dusty. I'm big on like the environmental specialist guys in the Joes and the Cobras. And you know, the camo on that figure, the soft goods like cowl on the back of, which I think was like one of the first soft goods usage in the line.
I think so.
I think it was.
My head, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah. And he's got the Steyr as well, or it's the Famis. Sorry, the Famis.
Yep.
Yeah, with the bipod that is often lost. Awesome.
I don't have
it. He's one of the few vintage figures I still do have, actually.
Yeah, I have him. I just don't have the bipod.
If you have the bipod, that's like finding gold.
Yeah, he's still got the bipod. Just watching my dog because I think she needs to go outside. Just bear with me 1 second, guys. You guys keep going. Right? I'm still listening.
What you got, Ronnie? Flint.
What?
Flint, number 3 for me. He could be higher. I don't like the way this beret sits. It's a bit high, you know. It just I don't know. If it was more semblant of what we saw in the Sunbow cartoons, he'd be my number 1 every day of the week because every little boy wants to be this guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a beret that lets it down for me. But Flint's my number 3. So cool, dude. Oh, come on. Says Duke.
No, it's not. It's awesome. His beret's awesome.
Flint is cool, but I'm not the biggest fan of like the shotguns for the figures. Like I feel like Classified's really overdone the shotguns.
Yeah.
But each his own.
This bracelet's really low down on his head.
Exactly.
All right, so now we're to my number 3, and it's Snake Eyes.
What?
Yep. It's I remember when we started collecting. We told the story before, but I was hunting down Walking Dead figures. I'm a huge Walking Dead fan still. And we were at the, I forget, it's a toy mall in Louisville, Kentucky.
I think it's Louisville Toy Mall.
I was looking for that. Matt was looking for.
There was a couple tractors I had when I was a kid as well. I was trying to get.
Yeah. So we were there looking for those, and we come across some vintage Joes. And it was almost like if you buy one, I'll buy one. And it just snowballed, and I don't regret a single purchase. We had such a good time. You know, then we make the show out of that. So it's it's a blast. The S-Rex ship, it is amazing. I keep wanting to go down. I go to Louisville every Sunday to spend time with our granddaughter, but it never opens till like 1 on Sundays, and I've got to get back. So yeah, it's so fun. I remember when we started buying our Joes that I said I would not go over $30 for a Joe. Well, that didn't last long. Then I said I'll never hit triple digits for a Joe. Snake Eyes version 2 cost me, I want to say $110, but it's immaculate. And I mean, he stays in a glass case. So I've only spent that much money on a few Joes, but he was the first. He was the gateway to spending way too much money on toys. but it's still a great figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my next one is good barbecue.
Oh yeah, nice.
That's a cool figure.
It is.
I've always liked it. I don't know, the all orange for the most part. I kind of liked it. I don't know. It's one of my colors that I like.
Kind of reminds me of a helmeted up Skidmark.
But
Don't be like that. Don't be like that.
The classified version of him was fantastic. I know it's just an upscale, but it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was one of the first figures that they upscaled. I thought that was just right there.
He's cool. Very cool.
Who's your number 2, Eric?
My number 2 is Snake Eyes. This was hard for me. Growing up, I never did have the version 2 Snake Eyes. I looked for him, never could find him. So I only had the 1.5 up until I went to Heroes Con one year. I'd been at a flea market here, and I found a Build-A-Figure of Apache Chief from Super Friends.
That's my barbecue.
Ooh. And I bought that Apache Chief figure for $5. Turned around, flipped it at Heroes Con, and then this guy had a version 2 Snake Eyes. I was like, ooh. And I was looking at it, and he had $80 on it. So technically, I only have $25 in my Snake Eyes version 2.
That's a good deal.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And he is in a glass case with the rest of my O-rings. And I got him. I was like, oh, he's so cool. And then gradually, I'm still drugged back to the version 1.5 for me.
Yeah, I'm getting a little hungry too, Larry.
Me too, Larry.
Come around my place, mate. I'll fire it up. Put some snags on. Bit of
Put
dead
some
horse. Bit of dead horse, you know. Dead horse is rhyming slang for sauce. That's what we call ketchup. Dead horse. Yeah.
Sounds horrible, but yeah, that's what we call it.
I have started.
Just blame the British. Just blame the British for all our rhyming slang. That's their fault. Number 2 for me is got to be the Snow Serpent. Obviously, you guys covered it, so I don't need to go into detail. And I sort of opined on it already. But yeah, lovely figure. And I never had one as a kid either. So, and I remember, quick story, my cousin went to the Philippines in 85 or 86, around that mark. And it was my youngest cousin. So he came back with like a whole heap of Joes. And he had the Snow Serpent, he had Buzzer, and he had, what else was there? There was Snow Serpent, Buzzer, the two that stand out. I can't remember, but yeah, I saw the Snow Serpent for the first time then in hand, and I was just like, this is awesome. So yeah, that's my pick.
Congratulations, Rexship.
Yep.
Oh, nice. Yep. I was watching Bobby B's Battlegrounds review of that earlier today, actually.
Oh, okay.
And
I'll check that out.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad.
That's another great channel.
Oh, Bobby's awesome, man. Bobby's again, like you know, I was talking to you earlier, Casey, about KJ and Tony from the Terradrome. Just a salt of the earth guy, you know what I mean? Just like you blokes, like just likes his toys, just not here for any drama or other rubbish. Like,
yeah, I haven't met KJ yet. That would be cool. But like I said, I met Tony at Joe Fest, and I don't know if I look at things differently, but I think there's levels of, like, the stuff they do is well beyond stuff I do.
Tony's, like, in terms of like customizing,
just anything. I mean, fantastic shows. We're just a talk show, and all the efforts they put into things. So I don't feel like we're same level, but
Oh, look,
it
man.
made me
Like,
feel like we were. And
yeah,
I'm
like
thankful for
that's
that.
what I mean. Like Tony and KJ are so humble. Like they would just view you as the way the same way they view themselves, or they view me or Aaron. Like, you know what I mean? Like they just doing their thing. And you know, if anyone in the chat hasn't checked out their show, you can go onto either of their channels and have a look. But yeah, worth watching. I
And
spent
same
3
thing-
hours today.
Yeah,
Like,
Lawrence is the same way. Punk with Toys.
yep.
Oh my goodness, he's so funny. And some people might think he's a little abrasive with some of his reviews, but I just think he's honest.
Yeah.
I think you're always going to get the honesty from it. You don't have to agree with it.
Exactly. It's the best way to be, man.
Right.
It's the best way to be. There's no point polishing a turd or sugarcoating things. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there isn't. So
Yeah.
Dusty?
There's my number
Yeah.
2.
Nice.
My number 2.
He had the bipod?
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, my number.
This guy's rocketed up my list in recent times, in the last 2 years or so, because my dog's called Dusty.
Yeah, Dusty's a great figure.
But yeah, my dog Dusty. I just look at Dusty and I think of my puppy dog. Oh, but I also think of the iconic Sunbow episode, The Traitor. Yeah, written by Buzz Dixon. And there's another guy we've been lucky enough to talk to, Adam. Asked Buzz Dixon about The Traitor, and he said, yeah, it was one of his favorite episodes. I mean, Arise Serpento Arise was obviously he rates as his biggest achievement, but The Traitor was a great episode, and really warmed to Dusty in that. So here's my number 2.
Yeah, he also had some great comic book stories.
I was just about to say the same thing, Casey. Yeah, especially in like the special missions and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just some, like when Sneak Peek got killed the first time. You know,
That's an underrated
very
little arc. That part.
I love the flashbacks to him in the kitchen doing dishes with Sneak Peek's mom.
Sneak Peek's mom.
Yeah. Larry Hama really killed it on that.
Yep.
And what was the one story arc where he had a Mainframe? They were in the desert, and that kid didn't respect Mainframe because he did computers, and turned out Mainframe was just hardcore soldier like anyone else.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Yeah, that is a good one. Yeah.
All right, so my number 2, and I guarantee it's not going to be on anybody else's list. Televiper.
That's really cool.
Oh, wow.
I love the Televiper. I army build them for my Terradrome. I've got like 10 in there.
Wow, that's awesome.
I think I had it as a kid. I loved it. I always loved it. If I have, when I got rid of my classifieds, I kept a few. I got rid of most of them. He's the one I regret not keeping.
Oh, wow, you didn't keep it.
Mm-mm.
The classified Televiper is really nice, actually.
Yes.
And
I even love the Patrol Televipers. I love the yellow with the gray.
You know what I like about the classified version, Casey?
What's that?
His head's in proportion.
Yeah.
The vintage figure always looks too bulbous. Like, I don't know, ever since I was a kid, I've always looked at it and it's like his head goes, whoop, like.
It's the headphones.
Yeah, it's the headphones.
Looks like he's got a parka hood on.
Yeah, like Kenny from South Park or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely my number 2.
Good work.
He killed Kenny.
My number 2 is going to be one that's already been brought up. Eels.
Those are such great figures.
Yeah, I mean they're good looking figure.
Yeah.
The only problem with getting like the vintage eels is you want to try to get with the Cobra still not rubbed off.
Yeah.
Which is probably why I only have one, because I wanted to make sure it didn't have the Cobra emblem rubbed off.
I've actually got 2.
Even my Histane driver still has his Cobra emblem.
That's nice.
That's impressive in itself. Yeah.
Yes. That thing just rubs off if you look at it.
Yeah. I had him back in the day, and like the second day I had him, his emblem was gone.
Right.
But my number 1, and this was the very first figure I picked up in '85. I got him, and I was like, holy crap, he's broke. His neck's broke. Because he got the ball joint in the neck then. And I was like, what in the world's wrong with this guy? He can look down. Yeah. But what made me pull the trigger on him is I read his file card. And I did not know a warrant officer was a rank. I thought he was a bounty hunter. for the Joes that went AWOL and whatnot.
Yeah,
so
never go AWOL.
So Flint is my number 1. He reminded me of a John Wayne type character coming in, and just kicking butt and taking names and keeping some and giving some away.
Yeah, good pick,
Yeah,
Eric.
the color scheme of the eels is fantastic.
Yeah. But that Flint, I mean, I was never a Duke person. And then
you're a Duke fan.
And that's a good thing about the Flint character too, is like that contrast between the black beret and the black like shirt and the camo pants. It contrasts nicely. And another example of a character that was really fleshed out well in the comics too.
Yeah, his first appearance in the comics, Larry, I think he gets laid out by Lady J.
Yeah, he was always getting into trouble.
And then he beats the crap out of a bunch of Cobra troopers or Vipers or something. Eels, yeah.
I don't believe it.
I do. The man's a beast. But that is my number 1.
That's a good pick.
Thanks
Look,
for being here, Foot.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
I'm going to be that guy, and I'm going to be just saying I'm picking Snake Eyes at number 1. V2 Snake Eyes, it eluded me like as a collector, like for decades. I didn't get my first one until early on in the pandemic, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I won it in a raffle in one of those Facebook groups. And then I was like, well, I've won one. Why don't I try and win another one? And lo and behold, I won a second one. And I was like, okay, now you've got me on the hook. Why don't I try and win a third one? And lo and behold, I won a third one. So I have,
that's awesome.
I have three of the V2 Snake Eyes. And they're all in pretty tip-top condition. They're all complete, with no breakages or anything like that. And Timber's feet are all intact. But yeah, a couple of them aren't as mint in terms of like the paint. There's a bit of paint rub on his arrow shooter and stuff like that. But I only keep one displayed. The other two I keep on ice, so to speak. But yeah, man,
Awesome.
Ninja Commando, blacked out, fit, Uzi, sword, wolf.
Yep.
Come on, number 1 with a bullet.
Can't get no more American than that.
That's it.
It's mine as well. That's my number 1. Yeah. So I didn't see this as a priority. I think I got a 1989 Snake Eyes early on in my collecting journey, and I thought I got a Snake Eyes. I'm all right now. And it wasn't until this popped up on eBay for $40 Australian, and I jumped on it. Yeah, got a cracking deal. And then when it rocked up, I just looked at it and thought, that thing is perfect. But as far as the toy design goes, unreal. Like I said, I thought I had one Snake Eyes, so I had them all. But when this one rocked up, I was just like, that. I know what all the fuss is about now. That's an amazing figure. So, yeah, definitely my number one.
And Aaron, was it you that had the backpack?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to mention that? Yeah.
Yeah, we did some research on this. So my backpack has got a factory malfunction. Can you see the peg there is solid? Can you see that?
Let me get you up here by yourself.
Yeah. Can you see the peg there is solid?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the sword doesn't slide in. I did a little bit of research, and yeah, the first batch of the Snake Eyes figures that came out, that was a factory malformation or a deformity. So you can't actually slide the sword all the way in.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah. They corrected it for subsequent releases, but yeah, mine has solid tabs on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, when he brought that to my attention, I was the same. I never knew that was a thing, but apparently it is. So it's something to keep your eyes out for over there, fellas.
Absolutely.
You can fix that. Take your little knife and carve it out.
Yeah, that's what it says on his tank. But I'm happy for him just to hold his sword. So
or a drill bit and it's neat.
Yeah, you could. The other thing you could do is just buy another backpack. So, yeah.
I think it would be cool just to keep it like that, though.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
The perfection is in the imperfection.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like little oddities like that.
Yeah.
I can't.
See how this is going to go.
My number one. Casey's number one, and I'll go back to my list. I hope it's the same as last time. Crimson Guardsman. Big fan of the Crimson Guardsman, always have been. Yes. I have 4. Like to get to like 10 of them eventually. I don't know why. I just set goals and I go for them.
They look good as an army builder, mate.
They
That's
do.
why.
Yes.
I think
big fan of it. Like I said, when you get to that point in the story, Adam, it's really cool how they go about recruiting their Crimson Guardsmen.
Nice.
Yeah.
they never really gave them the how can I say this? The stigma that they should have had in the cartoon, because they are like the super elite. So if they enter the battlefield, something's going to happen. Something big's going to happen.
I do have Timber. He's missing a foot.
Oh,
Yeah.
he got caught in that trap in the mass device.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll just throw it out there. My number one had a lot to do with the cartoon. I just like the character in the cartoon. That's Shipwreck.
Oh, yes. I was wondering if someone was going to say Shipwreck. So
I figured that's who yours would be.
I knew it was going to be number one before you walked in the door.
Yeah, that's cool.
I need to get
asking
Polly
me
for
who my
mine.
favorite in 83 is. Come on.
Which this was a really hard list for me to do, because Flint and Snake Eyes are my 2 favorite out of.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, 2 of my 3 favorites out of the line. So
it's not an easy list to put together by any stretch. Like, look at the fact alone that none of us mentioned a single Dreadnought.
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
And the 3 Stooges of that gang are right there in front of us. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And then, you've got other sort of ancillary characters like Airtight, or who else is another one? The Crimson Twins. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen a couple Crimson Twins in the chat,
Yeah.
yeah.
but I think I've seen one Buzzer.
Yep. Okay. Even the drivers were cool. Like you had crankcase, you had heavy metal, keel haul, lamprey. Maybe toll booth wasn't so cool, but that's okay.
It's unique.
Yeah.
Toll booth's no skid mark.
We left these guys on the table though, eh?
Yeah.
That surprises me.
And yeah, like easily could have picked all three of them. Like, you know.
Yeah, I'm surprised at least one of us didn't try to slide him in as a single pick.
And the fact
it would have been a good one.
Two of them are Australian, and Aaron and I just completely swerved them. Like we're just like, yeah, whatever, boys, stay over there.
Joe Hunter in his list actually mentioned having all three of them as one pick.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So, but
yeah, if cheating was allowed, I would have probably done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, going back thinking about when we did these lists originally, 85, I think, is when it started getting real hard. I'm trying to narrow it down.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's especially hard for an old guy like me because I remember getting these off the pegs and playing with them.
Yeah.
These were my Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
So I hold love for all these figures.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a hard list, but it was still a fun list to do.
So I have a memory of getting the Crimson Twins whenever I was a kid. My dad made me a deal. I absolutely suck at spelling. Just suck. And he was like, if you make 100 on your spelling test Friday, we'll stop at Hex and get the Crimson Twins. I was like, game on, big boy. I studied. I didn't take my head out of that English book all week. And come test Friday, took the test, got my result back with 100. He picked me up. I was like, let's go to Hex. And he's like, we will here later. I was like, we drive right past it. He's like, we'll go after a while. I was like, we're going now because otherwise it ain't happening. So we stopped and they had the display up for the twins, the mirror display. And so I still suck at spelling, but I think they only had like 2 left and I got one of them. And I was like, carried that thing to the cash register at the at the Hex and they checked it out. I got into the truck. I was like, I've got the twins. So
nice.
Yeah, that's a great stocking in 85.
Mm-hmm.
The twins and all 3 dreadnoughts. That's awesome.
Absolutely.
You know it's going to be a red letter Christmas if you seen Joe back sticking up out of your stockings.
I still love the fact that my parents would hide my Joes in like sweater boxes, and so
that's
I wouldn't
cool.
know what it is. I love that. To this day, it's one of my best childhood memories.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So here's the cruel twist of fate in my trip to America in 1985. So I can specifically and vividly remember going into a Toys R Us in Anaheim. It was massive. And we didn't have anything like that back home. And I can remember walking into the Joe aisle and just being like agog with like wall to wall of toys. And I didn't buy a single thing. I didn't leave there with anything. Because I think we just sort of walked in there for a look or whatever. I don't know why. I can't remember. But we went to Las Vegas. And we were staying at a casino called Circus. And somewhere in like on the floor, there was like a gift shop. And I remember like we went up to the counter and there was toys and whatever. And I saw like a Skyhawk and I saw a Moray and I saw like the Shark and like other different vehicles. And I was like, I want the Shark. I want that thing. Like, what is that? a flying submarine. You know what I mean? And my dad's like, yeah, look, we got to go. So I'm like, what? Anyway, so we left. And we went to dinner or whatever it was and went back to the room or whatever. And I think my dad might have gone back out to play blackjack or something that night. And the next morning I woke up and sitting on the end of the bed was a box, and it was the shark.
Oh.
Yeah. And that was my first actual Joe product, because I'd had a 82 Tall Toys Action Man short fuse, which I bought randomly when I was just young, you know what I mean? And that thing just languished in a toy box with other junk, like while I was collecting Star Wars stuff. I never used it. Like I didn't even pay attention to it. It was only when I got back to Australia and got into Joe, I realized that, hang on a second, those two are the same thing. You know what I mean? And so that was the very first Joe thing I got in 85.
Do you still have your shark?
Long gone, unfortunately. I've got two of the 25th anniversary ones. They sit underneath the flag. So
I understand that.
This has been a fun episode, guys. I appreciate you guys. Is it getting up early or staying up late?
We're staying up really late. Yeah, Adam's got to work in 6 hours. So.
Yeah, I thought I started at 7. I actually started at 8, so I've got a little bit more.
Good.
Got a bit of an extra sleep in, just a little bit.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody watching, I'm sure you already checked out these guys' shows, but if not, I highly recommend them. Can't recommend them enough.
Check us out on Tuesday. Should I spoil it, Shaq?
Spoil it.
I'm
not going to get to watch it until Tuesday night now.
Tuesday, we're building a G.I. Joe versus Cobra chessboard.
Oh, that's awesome.
So should be fun. Adam's taking Cobra and I'm taking Joe.
Thanks for stopping in, Stacy.
Thanks, Stacy.
Thanks, Stacy.
So yeah, check us out on Tuesday. It'll be on Adam's channel.
Awesome.
Because we're sort of alternating.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah.
1 for 1. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But thank you, everybody in the chat.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Eric Harper.
Thank you, Eric.
If we don't currently subscribe, we are shooting for the magic number of 200. So please subscribe.
Eric,
what are you guys sitting on now, Casey?
I think it's 188.
Oh, you got to be close. Come on, subscribe to
We've
this.
We've been at 188 for like 3 weeks. We're not going to be the biggest show. I get that.
No.
It's just fun little targets to shoot for. If we get there, we get there. If not, it's not going to change how we do this from day to day.
I have an idea how to get there. We need to have Eric Harper come on with us.
Yeah. Let's do an Eric Harper show. Just start randomly messaging everyone on Facebook that's got the name Eric Harper. It's an Eric Harper convention.
I don't know if we can handle more than one Eric Harper at a time, but maybe we'll give it a shot.
Eric Harpiana. Eric Harper. Eric Harper Fest.
Yeah.
Harper Palooza.
Yeah. I was on a page and Facebook page, and somebody's like tagging me in something that they had bought, and I was like, I never sold you nothing. And he's like, "Oh, yes, you have. You sold me a bunch of stuff." I was like, "No, I haven't." So I messaged the admin. I was like, "Who's he? What's he talking about? Is he crazy or what?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "I don't know." And then we done some research, and there's another Eric Harper in the group that sells stuff.
There's 3?
Oh yeah.
They're multiplying.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
I mean, it's not that uncommon of a name. So
I'm going to go and create 12 sock puppet YouTube accounts now and subscribe to you guys.
I'll allow it at this point. Again, thank you guys.
Yeah.
You're always welcome on here. I've had so much fun today, and we'll definitely have to do a show together again.
Absolutely,
Everybody
man.
out there, you guys all have a great weekend. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for coming.